comes to on the court stuff, it's play hard, but we can discuss that stuff later. But the off the court stuff is always going to be high character kids, grades. We do deep dives on all the players that come in. We talk to all their former coaches. We talk to their former players. He's really big on, like I said, the transfers, but he doesn't really like to get into the portal. So he thinks that, getting guys that just want to be here are going to be more impactful than diving into the portal all the time. And guys like that, when guys like to keep looking to switch spots a lot, when you go from, the 4-year schools to 2-year schools, like in my opinion, I think that, you can find some high quality players still, and high character players out of the portal as well. But his thing is he had a bad experience with it one year where he took a bunch of players out of the portal. So he tries to stick to, the junior college transfers. And like I said, he just does deep dives on everybody.
Thank you for that, Coach. The next question I want to ask you, I know you talked about the high character, which is 100%. Academics is definitely one of the things that, a lot of our student athletes need to focus on. But what about basketball style? If I'm a high school senior, junior, or if I'm a junior college transfer or post-grad transfer, how can I stand out to, be a part of your program as far as the basketball part?
Yeah. And I think the first part that we focus on is just like a lot of schools would say, is the effort, right? How hard guys play, are they going to be, are they going to be a good teammate? Are they going to be playing hard every game? Are they going to be taking charges, diving for loose balls? Do they have that motor that a lot of people talk about now? Because much talent nowadays that you can find guys that, that have talent pretty much anywhere. But the way to stand out is, it's just having that motor and, playing to the, your effort has to be really at an all-time high. And then one thing that I've noticed, especially with our guys this year, is a lot of guys that don't have that high of a motor and don't play that hard, they don't even realize it. So, sometimes you gotta really watch yourself on film, compare yourself to other people that you've been told are, hey, you got to play hard like this person or this person. Like a couple of the guys that I always come to mind are just old college players like Davion Mitchell from Baylor. He always played really hard. I mean, offensively and defensively, because it's not just about offense nowadays, especially with our coach here. There's something else that I should definitely talk about is he's very big on defense. He has me do a lot of like the offensive stuff. He's going to be running the offense, but he's big on his assistants input too. So he will be, it'll be kind of like a mix on the offense, but then defense, he's always been, big on defense. And obviously, when it comes to defense, playing hard, and also anticipation is big on defense too. So anticipation, and effort is always going to be big on defense. So, like I said earlier, just being a good teammate, making sure everything else, making sure you're at practice on time, making sure you're, like I said earlier, just being a high character guy that the coaches want to be around. And, all the players you want guys that other players want to be around as well. So.
Thank you for that. And let's go a little bit, let's dive deep into that a little bit. What about your conference? Tell me a little bit about your conference and the competition in that league.
Yeah, so it's a Rocky Mountain Conference. We play a lot of the teams from Colorado, South Dakota. There's a couple other teams from Nebraska out here. So the top teams last year and the top 2 to 3 teams over the past few years have been Fort Lewis is always really good. Black Hills is really good. Black Hills is a Division II school, and they just lost the top. He was one of the top 3 to 5 Division II players in the country. He ended up getting a full scholarship. I believe it was to Colorado or Colorado State, but like Division I. So he transferred out, so they lost him. So I'm sure that they'll rebuild. They're a good program. They're well, I guess that they have good resources, as we say, with the scholarships and everything. Fort Lewis, as I mentioned, Colorado Mesa is very good. And then we're up there as well. We we expect to be one of the top 3 to 4 teams in the conference. Coach Shane Pavin is the head coach here. He has really turned the program around. So they've struggled here for years. And then he got in about 3, this will be his 4th year. So they were struggling before that. And then, last year he struggled his first year. Then his second year he did, I think he was about 500. And then last year he finally put everything together and they were like 19-9, and they lost right at the end of a game in the conference. And I just got hired. I should have mentioned earlier, I just got hired in a couple months ago. So this will be my first full year on staff. So I'm still learning everything about how he likes to do things, about the conference and everything. But I feel like I've, got up to speed on all that stuff. But like I said, we expect to, and he said it too many times, he's expect to be even better than last year. So, we expect to make a deep run this year, and we have a really deep team this year as well. We can probably play 9 or 10 guys pretty comfortably right now.
Thank you for that, Coach. Last question, and then we can open up to people in the chat.
Yep.
How's Nebraska? Let's talk about that. We got I have a lot of people from Miami, Houston. I know you lived in Miami for a while, Coach. So talk about I know you've been there for a few months, but how's the living in Nebraska so far for you?
Yeah, it's always going to be a question that comes up with recruiting. Is Nebraska? So I coached in Georgia a few years. I coached in San Antonio, Texas for a year, and then I was in Miami for 3 years. So this is a complete different change. It was something that, I'm excited about, but, when I first took it, I was skeptical about it just because it's all the way across the country. It's like we said, it's not like you said, it's Nebraska. There's not much to do here. So it's all about, spending time with your teammates. Like today, our whole team was at the football game today. That's going to be really where you're spending most of your time. Coach does a good job the head coach is from this area originally. So does a really good job at finding things to do, activities to do with the team. So we went on a retreat. It's probably about 3 weeks ago. We go over to Omaha and we spend about 2 days there, and we go do like a ropes course where it's just like climbing ropes and everything like that. And then do zip lining, and we spend 2 days together. We played wiffle ball, we cooked out, and it was actually I actually had a really good time. Coach takes everybody's phones from them as well. It's another fun fact. So you can't be on your phones for the entire weekend. He wants everybody to be spending time with each other and interacting, getting to know each other, because it's within the first week of when everybody gets in. So but we do a good job spending time. And then the way I look at it too, with what I say when I'm recruiting here now, and I've been to a couple events already, and especially like the Florida guys, because I went down to a Florida event a couple weeks ago, and it's like, once the season starts, you're spending so much time with games and practices and all this stuff, that like the nightlife and the beaches and that stuff's all great, but you don't really have a whole lot of time to do that. Like even when I was in Florida, we never really had much time to do all that stuff, because when the season starts, you're playing games 3 days a week. Our coach travels a day ahead of time. So we get into like if we play Friday, Saturday, we're getting in on Wednesday, and then we're coming back Saturday or Sunday. So then you're right back to class on Monday. So it's, you're busy with your team so much that, you don't really think about, to me anyway, even so far, even a couple months, it's like, there's not a whole lot to do in town, but, we're so busy with basketball that it honestly don't even think about it right now.
Thank you very much for answering those questions, Coach. Now we have about 10 to 15 more minutes. What we're going to do is open it up for discussions. We have the head coach from Legacy Sports of Science down here in Houston, Texas, the national high school team. We have Kirkland College athletes on here, Coach. So we do have some JUCO. So, we do have a pretty, as far as good group of kids. I think I have another organization from Florida as well in the group chat too. So guys, if some athletes in the chat, be leaders, ask good questions while we got the coach for the next 10 minutes. You can either